Hello, General Science. Welcome back. I hope you all had a great spring break. So I'm really excited for today because today we are starting our chemistry unit. So chemistry we're going to be doing from now until the end of this semester. Today we're going to start with a very basic what is chemistry, and then we're going to jump right into elements and the periodic table. So let's get started. What is chemistry? So a very scientific definition of chemistry would be the scientific study of matter, its properties, and interactions with other matter and with energy. But what we're going to cover in our class, we're going to cover atoms and elements for about the next 2 weeks. Then we'll be doing classifying different types of matter. And then last but not least, we will be doing separating mixtures of matter. So elements, an element is a substance that's only one type of atom. So every atom in that substance is the same. We're going to talk more about atoms in the next class, but for now, just know that an element is only one type of atom. It cannot be broken down into any other substance. So everything in the universe, everything we know of in the universe, contains the atoms of one or more elements. There are currently over 115 elements, and you'll look at those when you use your periodic table, but new ones are still being discovered. So while we currently have around 118, who knows, in 20, 30 years, maybe we'll have 120, 125. You don't know. So here's some examples of elements. Hydrogen, we've talked about hydrogen before. Helium like over here in your balloons. That is an element. It can't be broken down. You can't take helium and separate it and get something else. No, it's only helium. Iron. This is an example of iron right here. You can't take this iron and melt it and get something else, or freeze it and get something else. No, all you're going to get is this iron. You're not going to get any other substance. Copper, silver, and gold, these are elements. You can't break these down into anything else. If it's pure silver and pure gold, that's all you have. There's nothing else there. If you have unpure silver or gold, well, now there could be other elements in there. But if it's pure, if it is only the element, then that's all you have. You do not have anything else there. So we're going to start by talking about the periodic table of elements. It sorts the elements by their atomic number. And we'll talk more about that in the next presentation. But that's how the elements are sorted in the periodic table. The periodic table includes every current known element. So if you don't know if something is an element or not, take a look at that periodic table. If it's on there, it's an element. Most periodic tables include the element name, the symbol, the atomic number, as well as the atomic weight. So the atomic weight or the atomic mass being how much one atom of that element weighs. You might find periodic tables that include different things, but these four are the most common things to be included on your periodic table. Now, if you don't have a periodic table, I'm going to be linking one on Google Classroom, but there's also one in the very back of your textbooks. If you open up your textbook and look at that very, very, very last thing, that is a big periodic table of elements. So you can always use that. You can also usually determine if an element is a metal or not based on the periodic table. Now, we're not going to get into that very much, but just know that that periodic table of elements is very, very useful. Knowing that table or having a table with you is very helpful. So let's take a look. This is a general periodic table of elements. It's got 118 on this one. Sometimes you might get an older one that may not have some of these bottom right-hand ones. That's fine. You'll notice that right here and right here, the lanthanides and the actinides are actually listed down at the bottom. That just makes it so it's easier to fit the periodic table on one page. So you can see that we've got a bunch of symbols, but underneath those symbols are also the names. So while they have the symbol and the name, and they've got a bunch of numbers. So what we have to do is we have to figure out what those numbers mean. So let's take a look at hydrogen. Made it nice and big so you can see. Right here, this big H, this is the symbol. So if it's one or two letters, that would be the symbol. Most of them are two. If you can see, most of them are two. Some of them up here on the upper right-hand corner are just one, but a lot of them have two letters. That is the symbol. The name is then written right below it. So our symbol is H, our name is hydrogen. Now the only two numbers we need to concern ourselves with are atomic number and atomic weight, also known as atomic mass. So the atomic number is always this top number. Sometimes it might be in the corner, but it's always on the top. So the atomic number for hydrogen is 1. The other number we need is our atomic weight. So our atomic weight is always below, always underneath, and it's going to be for hydrogen 1. Now, one thing that's helpful is atomic weight is always going to be greater than atomic number. So even here at hydrogen, you can see that our atomic weight is 1.008. That is greater than 1. So your atomic weight will always be the greater number. Atomic number will always be less, and it's always going to be on top. You don't need to concern yourself with electrons per shell. We're not going to do that this year. So if you see that, you can just ignore it. Let's take a look at another example. All right, so this one's not labeled, so we have to figure it out. Well, first, right big in the center, we've got two letters. We know this is going to be our symbol. So our symbol is capital P, lowercase o, PO. The name is going to be right below that. In this case, this element is polonium. Polonium. Now we've got a couple numbers here. We know that this top number is always going to be your atomic number. So this top number, 84, that is going to be our atomic number. Now we need to know which one is our atomic weight or our atomic mass. It's going to be the one that's just a number. So in this case, it's 209. It's below the name and the symbol, and it's just a number. So our atomic mass is 209. You do not need to concern yourself with this bottom number. You do not need that in this class. In fact, the periodic table in your textbook doesn't even include it. So you do not need that. All right, so your assignment is a Google form called Introduction to Chemistry and Elements. You will need a periodic table of elements for it. So I linked one on Google Classroom in this assignment, and there's also one in the back of your textbook. Please feel free to email me if you can't find one or if you're having difficulties. It is due Wednesday, April 22nd at 11:59 p.m. And as always, please, please, please feel free to email me with any questions, any concerns, or just if I can help you in any way, just send me an email. I typically respond in about 20 minutes, usually less. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you all have a really good week. Today is currently Wednesday, so I hope you have a good Wednesday. All right, everybody. I will talk to you soon.